Okay, we're ready to start the fifth video for Math 105. The subject is we're dealing with the rectangular coordinate system and graphing utilities. It has to do with homework number 7. It's included in homework number 7. That's where you'll find the homework on this. And we have to talk about how plotting points, that's our first job. So just bear with me. We've got our, as usual, our piece of paper ready to go. Here's our pencil, and here we go. Well, when we're dealing with the subject of plotting points. So plotting points, the way that's done is on a graph that looks like this. You've got the x-axis, which is the horizontal axis. You've got the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. And let's try to plot a bunch of different points. Let me show you which ones I want to plot. I want to plot 2, 3, then followed by -2, -2, -3. That would be the second point. The third one is to be 2, -3. The fourth one is -2, +3. So you see also all those types. Fifth one is 0, 0. Also has a name. It's called the origin. Then just two more, and that really will show the whole deal. 5, 0, and 0, 5. 0, 5. All right, let's start with 2, 3. You start always at the origin. Here's the y-axis, here's the x-axis, here's the middle. It's called the origin. Here's a vocabulary word. Let me put it over here, the origin. And you start always at the origin. You follow the instructions. These are called, here's more vocabulary words. All those points that I just put over there on the left-hand side are called ordered pairs. They're in order. The first one, the one on the left, is always going to be your x coordinate. And on the one on the right, the number on the right, after the comma is going to always be your y coordinate. They're coordinates. So you start at the origin, you go 1, 2, I'm doing the first point there, 1, 2, to the right, and then you go up 1, 2, 3, and there's your point called 2, 3. Okay, now, what about the point -2, -3? -2, you start at the origin, you go back 2, that means go left 2, and -3 means go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Here is the point -2, -3. This is supposed to be a 2. Okay, actually, what I can do is I can try being a little bit fancier here today and try to get hold of that eraser. The one over there. Here is supposedly I get an eraser if I do this. 1 second. As follows. I pick up my, it's called a hard eraser, and then I can come over here and get that blurred, come back up over here, and get my pencil back, I hope. Get my pencil back. Here we go with my pencil. Yeah, I got my pencil back. I also need my full screen. Here we go with that. Full screen. Okay, so we're back in business. I'm now able to write over here that this is -2. I'm going to try to write it much better. -2, -3. There's that point. Now, what about 2, 3? The third point. We've done over here, we've done A, we've done B, and here comes C. 2, -3. So you move to your right 1, 2, and then you go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's the point 2, -3. How about D? Here's D. -2, 3. You go back 2 and you go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And you have -2, comma 3 is this one, this point over here. Okay. Now, the next point, 0, 0. That point is called the origin. That I have that vocabulary word on the right-hand side, the origin. So the origin is right over here at the between the intersection of the y-axis and the x-axis. And there is, I'm getting a little cluttered over here, but we've still got some room. 0, 0. 2 more points. F, I got to plot the point 5, 0. So you start at the origin. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is, don't go up, don't go down. It says 0 there, so don't go anywhere. 5, 0. And finally, G, which says 0, 5, 0, 5, start at the origin. 0 means don't go right, don't go left, just stay there. And 5 means go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the point, 0, 5. Right over here. That is the coordinate system. Okay, so now, what if we, that's for starters. Now, they want us to learn about the distance formula. So here comes a subject called the distance. This is all in 2.1. It's all in part of that subject. Here's something called the distance formula. And unfortunately, if you're dealing with the problem with the distance formula, I don't think you'll find it hard, but you do have to memorize this formula. So here it is. The distance formula, might look familiar because it's really the Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse of a triangle. But anyway, here it is. It's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 plus y2 minus y1 squared. That is the distance formula. You need to memorize it. Now let me show you a reasonably easy question. As long as you have this memorized, I don't think you'll have trouble with these type of questions. Here's the question. Problem number 1. You're given 2 points. The first one is 1, 5. 1, 5. The second is 4, 9. 4, 9. What is the distance between these 2 points? That's what the distance formula is all about. You have 2 points. What is the distance between the two? The second one is 4, 9. The first one is 1, 5. What's the distance between the 2 points? So we've got to follow the directions of the distance formula. But first, before we start, designate the first point and call it x1, y1, x coordinate and y coordinate. Well, the x is always on the left, the y is always on the right. Call the second one x2, y2, a little subscript there. Okay, and now let's follow the formula of the distance. Let's follow the directions of the distance formula. You're supposed to take the square root, and if we do that, we'll find the distance between those 2 points. So what's x2? x2 is 4, let me write parentheses, 4. Minus is part of the formula. You can't escape the minus. x1 is a 1, followed by squared, plus y2 is 9. Minus is part of the formula. Can't escape that. And y1, look back over here, y1 is 5. So put a 5 for the y1, and then squared. And then we keep going. We simplify this, and we'll have our answer. Okay, the distance is the square root. So there's an equal here. I'm just putting the equals. So 4 minus 1 is 3. I don't need the parentheses anymore. I'll put the parentheses anywhere, but I don't need it. Anyway, but I don't need it. 3 squared. 9 minus 5 is 4 squared. I'll put the parentheses. I don't really need it because it's not a negative number. 4 squared. So 9 minus 5. We continue. equals 9. Sorry, the square root roof has to go. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. Okay, equals the square root of 9 and 16 is 25. And finally, the square root of 25 is 5. There's our distance. The distance between this point here, and this point is 5 units. You don't say plus or minus 5 because it's got to be positive. The distance is always going to be a positive number when you're talking about real things like distances. So now, I think I've got some more of space on my paper. So let me move it up. Hold on 1 minute. Let me try to move our paper up. Where do we find that? Let's move this up. 1 second. It's supposed to work. There we go. All right, we have a little bit more room. And let me show you what we need to work on next. And that is, besides the distance formula, we need to do something called the midpoint formula. Okay, so now the midpoint formula is going to have to actually go to the next. It's going to have to actually put on. I don't really have enough room to do that. It's not worth it. Let me end this recording right here, and we will be able to make the next recording for the midpoint formula. So we can end this right here. This won't. Hopefully, I'll get this done a little quicker. Stop recording, and